Hello and welcome to the Studio77 report for September 2023. We are fast approaching the end of this year, but we're here giving you the latest updates, announcements and event news from the mayamada universe, and I am the mayamada co-founder Nigel.
I am Tazziii, content creator and mayamada creative director.
If you don't already know, mayamada is a UK-based creative brand. We create comics featuring an all-animal cast of characters set within a television network universe. We also run the community gaming event Gamepad and deliver creative workshops across the country, and I've been doing a lot of those over the past month. In addition to all that, we have a digital platform and membership called Studio77, where we host shows with creative professionals from various industries across comics, video games, animation, and more. To hear our discussions on this month's news stories and gain exclusive access to events and mayamada artwork, you can become a Studio77 member. We were just talking about the potential return of K6 in Destiny, whatever that means.
No, it's not potential, it's happening. It's an actual return.
Okay,
yeah.
It's the confirmed.
K6 is there.
The confirmed return. I got my facts one. The confirmed return, and my return from Germany, my eventual return after going to Gamescom. So if you want to hear more of those discussions, become a Studio77 member to catch that conversation. But also, you can join us live on Twitch, where we record them for your viewing pleasure. So let's start, as usual, with this month's Industry Pro Tip. Each month, we like to highlight advice from a creative professional that has come from one of our Studio77 shows, and the advice this month comes from the Story X Story podcast. So I recently spoke with Mandy Wong, the creative director and founder of Mori Mori Studio, who make a real cool animation, Millie and Lou, and I spoke to her about her journey from Hong Kong to this country to making animation. So you can check that out in episode 148. We had a good conversation and definitely encourage people to check that out, but I pulled out a bit of advice because as we were talking, she was explaining the whole process of getting something that was so close to her made into an animation, and an animation by a big team and a team with different creative input. So we were talking about like how precious you can be over your idea versus being flexible to make changes that are needed. And she said you do have to remember it's a collaborative process, and by the time you're in production, you've got a team of 70 people, so you can't really be too rigid, but you do have to be careful not to allow changes that affect the core of your universe and what your starting message is. And I thought that was really interesting, that tension balance between getting the thing made but then also having to make changes that are required, and where you draw the line. I know in any creative endeavor you work as a team, you always have to have that consideration. Tazziii, what do you think about that piece of advice?
That is some really good advice, but I also think it's really hard advice to follow.
Yeah.
Like, in theory, that sounds great. When it's your thing, especially if it's like you made it and then you're giving it to a big team rather than a big team started it together, that can be like, that's so personal.
Yeah.
And then as well, like, how do you stick to the message that you're going for and that the core of what your universe is? Because that can be a challenge in itself. Even if it's just you doing it, can be easy to go off track for what you're trying to achieve. Yeah, I mean, it's a perfect bit of advice, but like, how do you find that balance?
Yeah, it is. And even like with us working with young people as part of our show and this program, is getting them to understand that it's like, it's your idea, but it's also part of a wider thing. So you won't get to do everything you want to do, or not every idea is going to make it. It doesn't mean it's a bad idea, a good idea. So if that resonated with you, definitely check out the full interview, and keep an eye out on future behind the story interviews, because there's always good bits of advice that come out if you're an aspiring creative professional or just interested in the process of how these things, games, animation, whatever it might be, get made.
And we have lots to come from the mayamada brand and the Studio77 membership. Nigel, do you want to kick us off with the universe?
Yeah, so this month we have our preview of the Origins Against All Odd story, specifically the Kickstarter campaign. This is a story that's focused around Tazzii's character, and we've talked about it for a little while now. It's been a long journey to put things together. The story is part of what will be a longer running origin story where each real life character in the mayamada team has been turned into a anthropomorphic character, and we're going to do short stories about how they got to the universe and how they met Maizuki. We have some convention appearances coming up. We're going to be at the Birmingham Insomnia and London WASD events this month. We'll be wandering the various show floors, so look out for updates from us. So come and say hi if you are there as well.
So we have a few things coming out of Studio77 this month. We have our casual conversations with comic creators, the Mayamada show where Nigel talks with a different comic creator about their work and craft of making comics. The next episode will be with indie comic creator Shazleen Khan on the 5th of September from 7:30 p.m. BST. We also have our games night each month, which is usually the last Thursday of each month from 7:30 p.m. We play games with Studio77 members live on Twitch. We last played Adopt Me by Uplift Games, and you can also check out some of our past games night highlights on YouTube. We have launched this year's Do I Look Like a Gamer campaign to promote diversity and inclusion in the video game industry. It's now a yearly initiative, which means a new snapshot of 40 players and makers, showcasing the representation that does exist today with a new schedule of events. So we did have our Games Industry Explained Newcomers Roundtable in August, and we'll also be attending EGX London on Friday the 13th of October. We'll be on the Barclays stage with a new live show, helping you to understand the different pathways into and through the video games industry. We have our video game jam coming up as well, also in October on Saturday the 21st, and we'll be letting guests loose on a variety of game engines, setting a challenge to make game levels as a team at Art Club in Harrow. And we have one more event attendance in October, so we'll be at MTM Comic Con, which is over the weekend of the 27th to the 29th. And we'll be bringing the campaign to the October event with photo showcase, tournaments, and we've got a chance to win tickets to the event. So keep an eye out for that. And as we mentioned earlier, we have a showrunners program. So if you're a young aspiring creative professional or you know one, then you can check out our showrunners program. We're making opportunities available for young people aged 16 and over to work with the Mayamada team across comics, video games, and content creation. Nigel, there has been some recent things come out from that, hasn't there?
Yeah, hopefully a lot of learning. But we also had some of our showrunners at the Games Industry Explained event doing like photography and streaming and behind the scenes doing video editing and writing and learning about the characters, developing character profiles, so we're letting people loose on the brand, which is interesting.
I think even some of the concept art for the Kickstarter.
Yeah, for the Kickstarter. So if you take a look at the Kickstarter, the image for it, that has come from concepts of one of our showrunners. And then in the story itself, that will have been inputted by some of our showrunners. So definitely giving people that like practical real world experience.
Great. I love that we can give people that opportunity to try some stuff out and learn some skills. But if you would like to know more and that sounds interesting to you, then you can head to mayamada.com/showrunners, or you can email us at hello@mayamada.com to find out more.
So a lot going on, and we'll put the links to like the various events that we're doing or that we're going to be at in the description for this video. And you can also become a Studio77 member today to support the work that we're doing here at Mayamada. You can get involved with games nights and the chaos that happens there, plus check out the interviews and panels after they have disappeared from Twitch VOD, and artwork as well, especially as we work on this new comic. So definitely check that out as well.
Each month, we like to ask you a question to provoke some thoughts on the games industry and culture. We've got the results from last month's poll, and we were asking you, does having your favorite IP on mobile make you more interested in the platform? The results were both with no votes at all. Nope, I think it dilutes the overall integrity of the IP, and mobile is the main way I play video games, so I'm all for it. Neither of those got any vote. In second place, we have the answer, I don't play games on mobile, but don't think it negatively impacts my experience. And coming in right on top, we have having an IP already known would be a good gateway to the platform. So it's very interesting getting everyone's views on that. You can hear me and Nigel discuss our opinions in the previous episode of the report. So this month, we're asking you a brand new question, and we'd like to find out from you, what do you want to see more of at future in-person video game events? So with Gamescom that has come and gone, and I guess the stats that are record-breaking attendance of 320,000 made it to the biggest in-person video game event in the world. And as the nature of in-person events continues to evolve post-pandemic, we want to know what you want to see more of in the future at events, big and small. So the options are chances to play new indie and student games, chances to play pre-release AA and AAA games, more non-gaming content creation experiences, and more opportunities to watch online for those who don't or can't attend. So voting is now live. You can let us know your opinion by going to vote, and the results will be announced in the October Studio77 report video. What do you think? What are your thoughts on this?
So we talked about like the change in nature in our Studio77 version. I talked about the content creation experiences. I personally don't care, even though I think those are cool and should definitely be a thing. But what was interesting to me as I walked around Gamescom is just talking to the indie creators of the games that I played. Some of them, but didn't get to all of them. So many games, but I did enjoy speaking to the creators from this country, UK, creators from different countries, spoke to creators from Turkey, from Spain, from Egypt, and yeah, just getting their perspective and their journey. So like me personally, I like that. But then also from like an accessibility point, the idea of giving that opportunity for people to watch, if not the whole event, parts of the event online. So I think that's an interesting thing that's going to be more and more prominent in games events.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. I personally love experiences, regardless of if I get to make content from it or not, but things to like do physically that I can't do at home, so that I've got that like memory there. Totally. And then I can like attach that experience to the event and potentially to the brand or game that is presenting that experience, like memories to hold. Because for me, that's something that I love about events, is creating memories with people. We would like to say a special thank you to Pro Gamers Group UK for their generous support, providing equipment including Streamplify, lighting, mics, and webcam, as well as Nitro's concept chairs.
Mine's cool.
Like the one that I've got here. This is great. I absolutely love it. It's been a pleasure sitting in there. It's very comfy.
I've never seen you more happy with a chair.
And it doesn't squeak. So yeah, very, very grateful. We've been using it across live streams, workshops, and the Do I Look Like a Gamer campaign events. So you can continue to see us using that equipment. So see if you can spot it if you're either at an event or watching a live stream or at one of our workshops. Yeah, keep a lookout for some of that kit, and feel free to ask us some questions about it if you are at an event. Happy to show you. But their contribution does help us to create a better experience for our community, and we're excited to be working with them as we continue to push for diversity and inclusion in the games industry and introducing aspiring creatives to the world of content creation.
Definitely appreciate all that support. And that about does it for this month's Studio77 report. So just a reminder that you can join us in Discord and also follow us on Twitch to be part of the growing mayamada community. Subscribe to us here on YouTube so you don't miss another Studio77 report. And if you do follow us on Twitch, you can catch us when we record them live and see how the sausage was made. So yeah, definitely jump over there as well. You can also become a Studio77 member to support the work that we do at mayamada and get exclusive access to manga and events in the mayamada universe. And last but not least, check out the Story X Story podcast, where so many of our good advice from creative professionals comes from. So Tazziii and I have weekly creator interviews, video game discussions, and deep dives into stories across pop culture. So that is all from us, and we will see you again next month.
Hi there, I'm Nigel from mayamada. Thanks for watching our video. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the other great videos we have on the channel. You can also check out our universe of manga and characters at mayamada.com. We'll see you soon.